Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, home of the Red Wings. Every game, nearly 20,000 fill this arena, but tonight is something very special. Tonight is Game 7. The San Jose Sharks have shocked the hockey world in the playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings seek to avoid first-round elimination again. Tonight, it's number 1 versus number 8 in Game 7. Hervé stops the pucks for San Jose. Fedorov scores the goals for Detroit. Makarov is playing like a kid again, and Dino is scoring when it counts. The little Latvian, Arturs Irbe, is San Jose's version of Patrick Law. Superstar ability in the nets. Sergei Makarov leads the San Jose offense in this series. 5 goals in 6 games. Steve Yzerman is finally back in the Detroit Red Wing lineup, and he's back on the scoring sheet. And playoff performer extraordinaire Dino Ciccarelli is up to his old tricks. And don't forget 50-goal scorer Ray Shepherd. He could be a goalie's worst nightmare around the net. Will Super Sergei be smiling at night's end? Game 7 holds the answer. The San Jose Sharks are swimming into uncharted waters. Game 7 of a Stanley Cup playoff series. While the Detroit Red Wings have definitely been down this road before, 3 years in a row, 15 times in franchise history. And welcome to a raucous Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. National Hockey Night, Game 7 tonight of the Sharks and the Red Wings. It doesn't get any better than this. You can cut the tension with a knife. The tension is in the stands, but Darren Pang, the tension also extends to the locker rooms. You can speak to that.
Absolutely. More so in the Detroit locker room, more pressure on them, but you can guarantee there's intense desperation on the faces of both teams for this game tonight.
Now, the Detroit Red Wings have a lot of guns, beginning with Sergei Fedorov, who finally got one in Game 6.
And it wasn't a pretty goal, but Fedorov has to score for the Red Wings to be successful. After all, he was their leading scorer during the course of the regular season.
Steve Yzerman didn't come into this series until game number 5.
What a gritty guy he is, coming back from a severe knee injury. He's got 4 points in 2 games, and he unquestionably is their leader.
Darren, you can also relate to the pressure on the goaltenders tonight. Let's begin with the San Jose Sharks, the Latvian Arturs Irbe.
5:22 p.m. He is cool. This guy here, not very big, 5'8", but this guy is very, very well composed. He's played over 4,400 minutes, and he admits he is not tired, and he's ready for Game 7.
Now, Irbe is young, but he has a lot more playoff experience than young Chris Osgood, the rookie going for the Detroit Red Wings. He's number 1 in this town for now.
This guy doesn't have a pulse. He is so calm, cool, and collected for this one. He admits after being pulled in Game 5, there's no confidence lost here. He's also prepared.
To be honest, a lot of folks didn't think we'd be here tonight. San Jose in a Game 7 at Joe Louis Arena against the Red Wings. Yzerman is focused. Airy is hopeful. What's going to happen tonight in game number 7? We'll find out next. Thank you very much, Steve Levy and Barry Melrose. Buckle your seatbelts. I think we're going to have a good one tonight. In goal for the San Jose Sharks, the little Latvian, I like to call him, Arturs Irbe.
Well, Arturs Irbe is a guy that has set an NHL record playing that many minutes, and throw away that myth that you're too small to be able to handle those kind of minutes, because Arturs Irbe has been brilliant for the San Jose Sharks. Chris Osgood, meanwhile, here's a guy that just quite simply says, I don't worry about the pressures of Game 7. This is just another game. That's a great attitude to have.
Well, the head coach of the Sharks, Kevin Constantine, a former goaltender in his younger days. He's out of International Falls, Minnesota, coached the Kansas City Blades, the farm team, and of course, the legendary Scotty Bowman behind the Detroit Red Wing bench, the winningest coach in National Hockey League history, and play is on here in Game 7. I think Barry Melrose is right. The first goal in this game is going to be huge, Darren.
Very important. Very important for both goaltenders to have a save right off the bat. Probably more so for Chris Osgood, being the younger guy and on home ice, to get the feel of the puck.
Red Wings came out storming the gates in game number 6, and the Sharks were never in it. They'd like to forget that one and go back and play their style. Their style is dumping it out of trouble. Jason touches up for the icing. Scotty Bowman, the aforementioned coach of the Red Wings, trying to win a Stanley Cup again. And he's been there before, been associated with 6 of them.
There's a lot of talk right now as to whether or not Scotty Bowman should be playing a defensive system, typical of playoff hockey, or whether or not they should open it up and play the kind of hockey that has made the Detroit Red Wings one of the top teams in the National Hockey League this year. And in fact, Paul Coffey sort of went public with that statement, thinking, hey, let's win it with what we have right now, and whether it's a 10-5 win or a 3-2 win, let's just play the kind of hockey we're capable of playing.
Well, the Red Wings had a 3-1 lead out in San Jose in Game 4, and they blew it. They blew the game, and it was after that Coffey sort of exploded. He says, darn it, when we get a lead, let's try and get a bigger one. Let's not play defensively. Meanwhile, here comes Makarov for San Jose. Gives it back. The passing in front. They score! They score! San Jose is on the board. Johan Garpenlov. It's 1-0, just like that.
That is exactly what the Red Wings did not want, but for Kevin Constantine and the San Jose Sharks, again, the brilliant production of their top 5 players in their lineup, world-class offensive players. Larionov, Garpenlov, and Makarov. And on this situation, you think that Larionov might shoot the puck, and you think, well, don't think too much, because it's Garpenlov coming up the middle in a wide-open, empty netter. Now, Osgood doesn't have a chance. He's got to move to his left. He's trying to take the one play away. Bang, it's a little empty netter, one tapper, and the Detroit Red Wings defensemen and forwards are just looking around, dazed and confused in their own zone.
Well, that's Garpenlov's second goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Johan Garpenlov, the Swede, playing on the line with Larionov and Makarov, the 2 Russians, and Steve Yzerman puts one in on Arthur Zerbe. And so the Sharks got just what they wanted, the first goal of this game. Garpenlov dumps in. Osgood will leave it for his defenseman.
Well, if Osgood said he wasn't nervous before this game, he might have changed a little bit after that situation to give up the goal on the first shot.
Keith Primo, Darren, didn't mean to interrupt you, but he gave it away to Ulf Dahlin. The Red Wings come back. Shepard with a shot. It's wide. And the play was offside anyway, I believe, with 18:35 to go here in the first period. Well, Chris Osgood not getting up to the start he wanted. He had a tough one in Game 5, didn't he?
Well, he did. He was pulled in that game. It was a 2-0 game, but he said afterwards, he says, don't question my confidence. Ask me if I'm lacking confidence. Chris Osgood is the kind of kid, almost to a naive point, that he won't get rattled. But Scotty Bowman has to have some kind of concern. It is not what they wanted to do, and that was break down defensively and allow a world-class line like Larionov and Makarov to get on the board early.
Face-off in the San Jose zone. And the Sharks try and clear, and they do clear down to Terry Kartner at center. Kartner over to Mark Howe, who's playing despite a bad back. What else is new? Here's Chris Draper of Detroit. His centering pass is intercepted. The Sharks in their road teal with black and white trim. And that familiar logo has sold millions upon millions of dollars worth of souvenir apparel throughout the sporting world. Pat Falloon, one-time #1 draft pick of the Sharks, dumps into the corner. Darren McCarty is there for Detroit. You're just tuning in. The San Jose Sharks have a 1-0 lead in Game 7 at Detroit. It was 1 year ago tonight that the Red Wings played a Game 7 here in the playoffs against Toronto, and they lost it at home in overtime. A goal by Nikolai Borszewski. They don't want that to happen again. Terry Kartner around the corner, but not out. Jason Moore keeps it in for San Jose. Pat Falloon with it in the corner. Fans getting on to Detroit Red Wings early. They're very vocal here, either for their team or against them. And if Detroit gets down anymore, they're really going to hear it. There's the San Jose bench.
San Jose at this morning's game, they were actually, and several of the players made comments about the fact that they looked a little more uptight than what they had normally been. And it was Todd Ellick that said, hey, we have to be relaxed. The pressure isn't exactly on us. Kevin Constantine, though, the head coach, that's just 35 years of age, says we're not going out there tonight thinking that this is going to be a fun game and let the cards fall where they may. We expect to win this hockey game, and they're off to the kind of start they needed to be off on, scoring a goal early. You see, San Jose does not have the type of offense that what the Detroit Red Wings have, so quite clearly, if they're behind 2 or 3 goals, they have a tough time coming back.
Face-off won by the Red Wings, and this is Nicholas Lidstrom. The Red Wings have practiced this morning very relaxed, almost in a jovial mood, while the San Jose Sharks were more focused and appeared to be tense at times. There's Ray Shepard with a steal in the San Jose zone. Primo, not 100% physically. Got nothing on that shot. Larionov behind the net. Cross ice to Sandis Ozolinsh. On the National Hockey League All-Star team and did quite well in New York at the All-Star Classic. Here's Primo sent away by Coffey, but he just couldn't get to it. That's the kind of offense Detroit will try and generate. San Jose doing more of a counter-punching offensive club.
San Jose will try to take advantage of turnovers in the neutral zone, and try to respond with 3-on-2s and 2-on-1 situations like that.
Coffee dumps in. Herbe gets it finally over to Gaetan Duchesne. Duchesne, though, can't clear the zone. And Cicerelli in the corner. He's tied up with Vlastimil Krupa. Krupa hits Cicerelli again, and Duchesne walks away with it. Krupa's a big boy, well over 200 pounds. Puck goes into the Red Wing bench. Whistle for a face-off. 1-0 San Jose early.
Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. The Red Wings trail 1-0. This is the quote from Chris Osgood. People talk about my confidence being blown. Let's see if it's going to be tested right now. Chris Osgood has only faced one shot on goal, and it's gone in the net.
And let's be honest, he had no chance in that play.
Not a chance whatsoever. No.
Well, the crowd tried to rattle Arthur Herbe with that rhythmical cheer, much like the Bruin faithful did to Patrick Roy last night. Here's Vyacheslav Kozlov. He scored his first goal of the series on Thursday night. Gaetan Duchesne at center. The referee tonight is Andy Van Helleman. The linesmen are Swede Knox and Ray Scapanello. Fedorov out of his own zone. Fedorov up the middle, double teamed though, and taken away. And back comes San Jose, counter punching. Whitney with it. He pulls up, and he tried to hit a breaking Jamie Baker, and back comes Detroit. Fedorov on right wing this time. Cross to Kozlov, and the pass just failed to get through. If it ever got on Kozlov's stick, it was in the net.
That was Arthur Herbe that anticipated that pass, and a nifty little poke check eliminated the offensive play.
Jason Moore has it taken away on a poke check by Marcal, who just got out of traction earlier today. 3-4 times a week, Hal has traction on the troublesome back. And a big hit in the corner, but the fans ought to look at Makarov. He's into the Detroit zone. The centering pass, though, is picked off. Kennedy sends Colbert into the San Jose zone. Colbert throwing his body around. Oh, what a hit on Jeff Norton. He lost his helmet. Bob Colbert trying to stir things up here in Detroit. And there goes Darren McCarty after someone. That someone was Makarov. Somebody turned on the switch for the Red Wings. Here's Coffey. Look at him go between the defense. He's still got those jets, doesn't he? Wheels around and shoots, but it's right into the legs of Krupa. Karpinov. Trailing pass right down the middle. The shot by Ozovich is a save by the goaltender Osgood. Sandis Ozovich was in alone. Finally, the Red Wings clear it. Yzerman goes to the backhand, has it intercepted. The Red Wings, these are like two fighters, Darren, where the big guy was nailed by the little guy, and the big guy saying, oh, you want to play that way? Okay.
You betcha. I mean, really, and San Jose trying to take advantage. Every time Detroit has an offensive chance, they turn it on over, and they go back the other way.
Hope Dahlin obtained a trade from Dallas. Very skilled offensive player. Yzerman is tying him up, though, in the corner. Wade Shepard with it along the board. We played almost 7 minutes. 1-0 San Jose on the goal by Johan Karpinov. First minute of play. Here comes Detroit 2-on-2. Sonberg, Greg Johnson. Now Draper is in, and Draper overskated. Fast and furious action here at Joe Louis Arena. The bodies are flying too. Jeff Gorton, his helmet has been behind the San Jose goal for the last 3 minutes of play. Has had a chance to get it. Here's Steve Chason. He's onside, but he's wide. The rebound is cleared aside by Jamie Baker, but not out. And I'll tell you, Jeff Gorton, he's had a tough first period.
Oh, boy, he's taken a couple. Starts with Bob Probert. Sean Burr's also had a couple of big hits.
And San Jose gives it back as well as Bob Airy lays the lumber to Terry Cartner. All you have to do to a hockey player, Darren, is say Game 7.
This kind of pace right now, I would have to believe in the long run would favor the Detroit Red Wings, more so than the San Jose Sharks.
Well, the Sharks tried to stay with them on Thursday. It didn't work. But with a 1-goal lead, you can take a little more liberty than you would on.
A lot more guns on that red and white club. But to San Jose's credit, they hang in there and they wait for their opportunity, usually on a giveaway.
Offsides on the Red Wings. 12:01 to play. First period, still 1-0. Sharks.
The San Jose Sharks already own a 1-0 lead. if we talked about the confidence and Osgood might have lacked on the first goal, this was a tremendous save. Sandis Ozolinsh, another defenseman for San Jose, moving up in the play, and the Red Wings clearly are not anticipating or prepared for the guy coming up late.
Detroit shoots it in. Arthur Zerbe has it hop over his stick, and here is Fedorov centering, but nobody home for Detroit. Larionov couldn't control. This is Karpinov. Karl, Larionov, and Karpinov, a pretty effective first line for the Sharks, who really came on the second half of the year.
They're an outstanding line, Tom. They're just so great with the puck. They're magicians, starting with Makarov. And when you look at Larionov, his assets, and you'll find out his seeing the man. He sees the ice so darn well, he can make a play.
And booing because the icing that was going to be called was waved off against San Jose. Peterson in the corner for the Sharks. Tom Peterson gets it back to center and down the ice. But not far enough for icing, and Lidstrom behind his own net. We played just about 9 minutes of the first period, and the goal by Karpinov, 47 seconds into the game, has the Sharks on top. Darren McCarty winds up and hits the stick of Todd Ellick. Now with it comes Gaetan Duchesne. The Sharks don't look shook up early on, that's for sure. O'Donnell and a stick save Osgood, and Ellick runs into him, knocks the goal off, and the Red Wings want interference, but they will not get it. Well, more hockey action tomorrow afternoon on ABC. It's game 1 of the Bruins series against the New Jersey Devils, Eastern Conference semifinal. Note the start time, 1 p.m. Eastern and noon on the Pacific Coast and the Central Time Zone. And then tomorrow night on the Deuce, the Washington Capitals, New York Rangers, game 1 of that Eastern semifinal. Madison Square Garden, New York. That's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific Time.
The National Hockey League has done a great job of calling the interference in the playoffs so far. Now, Ulf Dahlin has a situation where he makes a nice pass across, but the collision in front of the net by Todd Ellick on Osgood, that is what interference is about. A player is supposed to try to get out of the way as quickly as possible, but Andy Van Hellemond setting the tone for this game. But as I said, the National Hockey League referees have done an excellent job during the course of this playoff.
Face off in the Detroit zone. Yzerman clears it out. Sean Coleman with it for the San Jose Sharks. Dumps behind the net for Osgood. Pat Balloon races for it. Doesn't get there, and Primo's there for Detroit. Here's Vladimir Konstantinov. Pass onside. Shepard is wide, and Irbe may have gotten a piece of that. Steve Cason from the point. Bob Airy recovers and just ices it down behind the goal, icing the call on San Jose.
Arthur Zerbe clearly got a stick on that. Little bit of a nifty shot by Ray Shepard. Now Shepard, 52 goals in the regular season. He gets hot when Steve Yzerman's his centerman because Yzerman will get him the puck. Since Yzerman's return, Shepard has 3 points in this series. But Shepard in all alone. He's got himself. Cronin behind him trying to give him a last-minute hook. And it is a solid save by Irbe. That is the last thing the Red Wings want to have happen is for not only San Jose to score the first goal, but for Arthur Zerbe to get red hot. Because everybody here tells us that Arthur Zerbe hasn't played his best hockey. He played so well during the regular season. He hasn't caught fire here in the postseason. Wow, this one could be the game. You don't want to leave it to a game 7 in that situation if you're the Red Wings.
No time like the present, though, if you're the Sharks. If Irbe's on his game.
Wow, a goalie. We've seen so many goaltenders do it. Makarov, meanwhile, he's another guy that can do it. He's going to take this face-off on Draper.
See, the Red Wings have doubled the early shot on goal totals. Konstantinov with a shot from the point at Draper, almost tipped it by Irbe. Fedorov's playing without his helmet. Well, that could be interesting if Fedorov takes a hit. Remember, took a hard hit from his own teammate late in the regular season. Sean Burr in Vancouver took him a while to recover from that. Here's Draper with a hard hit on Norton, who's been a marked man early on. Fedorov behind the net, and Irbe takes those chances. He covers up with 9:37 to go. And a face-off in the San Jose zone.
You said face-offs, Tom? How important are they? Both sides of the ice, it doesn't matter how much time is on the clock. You can generate a great offensive chance, or obviously you can clear your zone. Sergei Fedorov did not take this face-off. It was Draper that took it and won it cleanly off Makarov. Long shot from the point. Little wee of a deflection. You see Draper going right to the net. Makarov didn't take him. Irbe would have had no chance on that deflection. But Arthur Zerbe, cool, calm, and collected in that goal. Played 40, set that record for most I was unaware that that was the record, but boy, I was unaware that he had played so much this year.
Paul Coffey got the face-off, but his pass attempt hit the traffic in front, and Ulf Dahlin clears it down the ice. In case you're confused in that promo, the Bruins-Devils game is on tomorrow on ABC, 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central and Pacific. 1 Eastern, noon Central and Pacific for Boston at New Jersey, game 1 of the Eastern semifinal on ABC, and then on the Deuce tomorrow night on ESPN2, Washington and New York. Game 1 of that Eastern semifinal at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. All right, back to business here in Detroit. 9:05 to go in the first. There's a loose puck intercepted and dumped in by Jamie Baker, but only for a line change. And Coffey passes it to Kozlov and over his stick. Icing will be the call on Detroit as Cronin touches up in the corner.
Scotty Bowman, the head coach, Barry Smith, the assistant coach, already in this contest. 8:49 left in the first. They're down 1-0. He's already switched up his lines. He's got Steve Yzerman right now playing with Dino Ciccarelli and Kozlov. That's the normal position for Fedorov. My question would be right now, is there something wrong with Sergei Fedorov? He took a hit in the offensive zone. He lost his helmet. But, I mean, Scotty Bowman's not afraid to mix up his lines. Yzerman had been playing with Keith Primo and Ray Shepherd, and that line, in fact, from Christmas time on had been terrific for the Detroit Red Wings. Now Yzerman's centering again. As I said, now he's got Primo and Ray Shepherd with him now.
Face off to the right of the goaltender, Chris Osgood for Detroit, who has supplanted Bob Essenza now firmly. Osgood, the #1 goaltender for the Red Wings. Essenza, the man they traded for late in the season, is relegated to backup, at least for now. Yzerman forecheck nicely by Whitney, and now the Red Wings will break out. Big Primo at center, poke checked away there by Jamie Baker. Osgood around the corner up to Yzerman. Picked off again at center by Whitney. 8 minutes, 12 seconds to go, first period. San Jose and Detroit, game 7, and the Sharks lead at 1-0. Here's a loose puck intercepted by Makarov. He breaks in. He'll go to the backhand, and Osgood to save. Sergei Makarov, who years started with that Central Red Army team. He's very dangerous.
Forehand or backhand. That was an excellent play by Makarov, but Osgood followed him all the way.
Garpenlov is sent in by Makarov, but he's cut off. The fans getting impatient with the Red Wing defense. Here's Igor Larionov. Larionov down the slot. He's by McCarty, and McCarty finally has to tie up his stick. Pinching in from the point is Ozelich, but it's over his stick, and here comes Sean Burr. Burr waits for his teammates. Draper is in front. Draper can't get good one on a shot. Comes to McCarty at center. Lazy pass off the boards. Lucky it wasn't intercepted by Larionov. Pace has slowed down perceptibly from what it was about 4 minutes ago.
Anytime that line's on the ice for San Jose. Oh, what a collision. Burr and Duchesne went down. We're going to see the first penalties of the game.
Andy Van Hellemond is signaling open that penalty box door. Now, Sean Burr is not reluctant to hit anybody, but Gaetan Duchesne is going over the penalty box for San Jose.
He's got him for an elbow. You heard Andy Van Hellemond say it. Burr's going to go off and Duchesne's going to go off. So it'll be a 4-on-4 situation. As you see, oh yeah, oh clearly Burr gave him an elbow, and then Duchesne came up with the high stick. But before that, another turnover in the neutral zone. Capitalizing on it as Makarov coming in one-on-one. Decides to back away to the backhand a little bit, trying to go through the legs of the 5-hole of Osgood. Osgood followed him all the way. And we've already got our first one on the ice. A tradition since 1952. It's an octopus.
That's right. Well, Duchesne is wiping out the visor so he can get a better look at this fish, or this mammal, this octopus, whatever it is. Now, you notice that nobody's rushing to pick it up. That's for 2 reasons. It smells and it's slimy. And there's the guy. Well, I got to give him the nod. He's wearing gloves. Long-standing playoff tradition here in Detroit.
Arthur Zerbe had the best line in game 1 here, and he felt there was a turning point to this game when Detroit was all over the Sharks. An octopus came on the ice, and it really slowed down play. And he's asked at the end of the game, what was the key to the game? And he said that. The octopus, he said the seafood on the ice was the key to the game.
The seafood. All right. Face off in the San Jose zone. Peterson wins it back for Westville's Krupa. Krupa tied up. Taken away by Fedorov. In front, and Lidstrom fans on a great centering pass from Sergei Fedorov. 4-on-4. You'd think this would favor Detroit. Well, the open ice. Coffey the shot. Wide stick side.
Bowman has Fedorov and Yzerman on with Lidstrom and Coffey. I think that's a wise choice by Bowman to have all four of those speedsters on the ice.
Norton behind his own net, looking to center. Larionov, 6:15 and counting left in the period. 1:18 and counting left in the coincidental minors. To Burr and Gaetan Duchesne. Here comes Makarov at center. Makarov to the backhand again. He scores! Sergei Makarov, his 6th goal of the playoffs, and oh man, do we have a story developing here.
Not a very good goal at all. A weak backhand play under the stick of Osgood. He moved it prematurely and it went right through his legs. Oh boy, these are the kind of goals that can break a team's morale after Detroit's trying to get right back into it. Heads up play by Makarov again. The second time in this period he goes to the backhand, and clearly Osgood just really whiffed on this one. Went to use his stick and kick the puck to the corner. Kicked it out way too soon and right through the legs. Now the Detroit Red Wings have a mountain to climb already, and you think, well, it's early in this game and they're only down 2-0. But the longer San Jose can play with the lead, the more confidence that Kevin Constantine is going to relay to them on the bench. And they've rallied all year long in close games. They performed well under pressure in close games this year.
Well, so much for my theory about the open ice favoring Detroit. Makarov gets his 6th goal in the playoffs. But you're right there. That was a bad goal to give up for Chris Osgood. Well, the Red Wings faithful teetering now on the brink, starting to boo their heroes as Draper's shot is shanked and comes in on the goaltender Urbe, who covers up for a faceoff. 2-0 Sharks. The San Jose Sharks, once just a logo, now they're starting to get some recognizable names. And their coach, Kevin Constantine, the redhead from International Falls, Minnesota, what a job he's done. I asked him, you were blown out in Game 6, 6-1 or 7-1. How do you get over that? He says, if you forget the past, you might lose one eye. If you dwell on it, you'll lose both. He says, we're going to forget Game 6 happened. We're going to come out. It's 0-0 at the start. We're going to play our game. And he was very confident this morning.
Very confident person, a very intense person, but the pressure really clearly is on this guy, Chris Osgood, and what he has to do right now to get himself back in is you see the numbers in Game 5, 2 goals on 2 shots, 2 goals on 4 shots. After Game 5, he said, maybe if they don't pull me, we come back and win that hockey game. That's how confident he is, but clearly he has to make a save here, and a big save. Not an easy save. He's got to make another big save as he did after the first goal went in.
Nicholas Lidstrom at center on the left wing to Yzerman. I think it's imperative for Detroit to get the next goal here for their confidence, if nothing else. Lidstrom's got a good shot for the point. Shepard deflected it wide. With that lead now, Darren, the San Jose Sharks have the perfect situation for them to play their game, which is counterpunch all night long. Ozelin gets it into Norton for a shot, and it's wide stick side. Sean Burr at center. It'll be taken back by Ulf Dahlin. Sharks come in as the 8th seed. Detroit come in as the 1 seed. In the Western Conference. Sean Burr dumps it for Urbe. Sheldon Kennedy can't control, and it's Ulf Dahlin at center. Nice pass by Dahlin to Todd Ellick, and the pads are closed this time by goaltender Osgood.
Once again, the San Jose Sharks fairly creative in the neutral zone, capitalizing on a 3-on-2. Long shot. Ellick and Dahlin have moved the puck around awfully well. Dahlin on the right-hand side going to his backhand right to Ellick. Ellick with the long shot. It's a good move by San Jose. Now try to test the young goaltender, see if he's jittery at all. But Osgood had no problems with that one. Todd Ellick was a waiver pickup on October 26th from the Edmonton Oilers. What an outstanding pickup that was by the Sharks.
They did their homework on that one, didn't they?
Ended up with 25 goals in the regular season.
Here's Steve Chason breaking out for Detroit. Draper to big Bob Probert. He cruises in, but can't control it. Probert now, they give him plenty of room, don't they? Not a bad idea. Urbe gets the first shot. Rebound on the slot is stick to side. And Chason keeps it in the zone. And he gives it away, and here comes San Jose 2-on-2. Dahlin likes to take the long shot off a chase-on stick into the crowd. Bob Probert, here's a guy that can stir this crowd up, maybe get the momentum back in Detroit's favor.
Bob Probert is capable of doing that, and when he gets energy going and starts taking out the body, this big lumbering gentle giant off the ice, on the ice he really can go, obviously. But Bob Probert, he initiated things after San Jose got up 1-0 in this game. It was Bob Probert that labeled a couple of the San Jose Sharks, including Jeff Norton, with good open ice hits. Holds the Red Wing record for points in one playoff year, 21.
It's a big year for a big playoff series also for Bob Probert, because the rumors he might be moving on. Other teams are definitely interested in his services.
Well, he's played out his option, so that, you know, the Red Wings would still have the right to match any offer that came his way, which there will be plenty.
Oh, sure. Puck loose in the Detroit zone. Coffey behind his own net. Sean Cronin shoots it right back in. Nicholas Lindstrom. Coffey. Federoff hit by Cronin at center, but not hard. Here's Paul Coffey. Well, the Sharks are standing up at that blue line, aren't they? They make it almost impossible for the Red Wings to skate the puck in.
Excellent job of reading the play. Bob Airy just jumping up at the blue line, almost startling Paul Coffey. And you're right, that would force the Detroit Red Wings to dump the puck in, something that they don't like to do as a team.
They'd rather not do it. Offsides on Dino Ciccarelli. 2-0. Goals by Karpinoff and Makarov, and Bob Probert and the Red Wings singing the blues on the bench, down 2-0 in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup quarterfinal, live on ESPN's National Hockey Night. The winner goes on, the loser goes home. And the Red Wings, after blowing out the Sharks 7-1 in Game 6, there the media, both print and electronic, almost treated this game as a foregone conclusion here in Detroit. Surprised me after what we've seen earlier in the series.
Well, every first round for the last 3 years, the Red Wings have had to contend with a 7th game, losing 2 of the 3. A lot of pressure on the Red Wings and the franchise to win this one.
On the right wing, the shot taken by Konstantinov hits traffic in front. Well, the Sharks do a good job staying in front of their goaltender Irbe, moving people out of the slot area, holding his shots to the wing, much like Toronto did the other night against Chicago. Larionov carries in. He's onside. Ozolic is going to the net. Makarov, he's forced to dump in. Osgood to Konstantinov with Duchesne right on his tail. Tom Peterson back in his own zone. O'Donnell winds up and hits.
Oh, my. Konstantinov just puts that in the arm, yeah.
And a hoist. Under 2 minutes to go, first period. Red Wings dump it down, and they'll be guilty of icing as Krupa touches up, and the boos cascade from the sellout crowd of almost 20,000. Coming up tomorrow, Sunday Night Baseball. Mo Vaughn, the Boston Red Sox, off to a great start this season, will be in Anaheim to take on the California Angels, featuring Tim Salmon. Exclusive national coverage of the Red Sox and Angels tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, live from the Big A.
Ulf Dahlin picked up in a trade with the Dallas Stars. Regular season, 25 goals and 69 points. Has really helped their power play. Terrific at moving his feet along the boards. He's a great boardsman, and he's playing on the line with Todd Ellick and Gaetan Duchesne.
Face off in the Detroit zone. Greg Johnson is replaced in there by Darren McCarty. McCarty and Ellick. Ellick controls it into the corner. Ulf Dahlin, who always does good work along the boards, comes away with it, but can't get the shot away. Colbert trying to do some forechecking and force a turnover. And here's Colbert. Dish off to McCarty. And McCarty is bodied off by Peterson. McCarty wanted a penalty, but Van Hellemond says play on. Bouncing puck. Finally cleared out of the zone there by Vlastimil Krupa. Here's Mark Howell. Howell takes a hard hit from Airy well after he got rid of that puck. Irbe behind his net gives it away. Oh, Arthur Irbe very lucky as he gave it right to the stick of Kozlov. Last minute of play here in the first period. And the sound you hear in about a minute, Darren, will not be cheers for the home team as they leave the ice. Fedorov sends Kozlov down the slot. Kozlov shoots. Irbe the save. Arthur Irbe. with a save of the game so far.
Oh, what a great save using his right foot on a very tricky Kozlov.
Penalty coming up on the Red Wings. And oh my goodness, Fedorov went headhunting. That could be a major. He flat out went headhunting against Jason Moore. That's a vicious, vicious penalty by Sergei Fedorov. Don't know what precipitated it. I haven't seen him lose it like that, Darren, all year.
Oh, he came across hard with a cross check right to the head of Jason Moore, and it was already the Red Wings that were going to be shorthanded because of a penalty being called. And in the back, a right shot by Moore, and a right paw by Fedorov as well. And that was going to be the call right there, the roughing. And there's the cross check. Oh man, that's a vicious hit by Fedorov.
It is.
He'll be fortunate to be staying in this contest.
Can you imagine? Well,
that's the last thing the Red Wings need, is their big guy losing their composure like that in such a crucial hockey game. But just before that, Kozlov had just an outstanding chance, busting through the middle, trying to go into the forehand. Now Kozlov takes it from the backhand to the forehand, and just a great save by Urbe, anticipating that with his right pad. And again, late in the period, obviously that would have been a huge boost for the Detroit Red Wings if they would have been able to nullify that 2-goal deficit, make it 2-1. Kozlov was nullified.
Well, they first flashed up 4 minutes on the penalty clock, which frankly didn't surprise me, although it didn't enlighten the crowd here, didn't make them happy. Now they've changed that to a 2-minute penalty on Sergei Fedorov. Maybe they've called 4 on Fedorov and 2 on the San Jose Sharks. This is a dangerous play, Darren.
Goodness, there's an intent to injure in that
absolutely.
situation, and clearly without anybody around, they'd already had an altercation. They should have both gone on for roughing to begin with. And somehow, well, I don't understand this, because if he only got 2 minutes for cross-check, now everybody's standing up at the penalty box, and I'm not sure if nobody in for San Jose, but there was already going to be a penalty called for roughing on Fedorov. The hand was up from Andy Van Hellemond.
Well, Moore has been called 2 minutes for roughing, so he's been assessed a penalty. And Fedorov gets 4 minutes for cross-checking, so it's a 2-minute power play for San Jose. Coming up in our first intermission, the Dodge Intermission Report, we'll have a look at the Canucks Flames preview, their series. They're going to a 7th game tonight in Calgary, and a wrap-up of the first round of the Eastern Conference, and what great goaltending we had in the Boston-Montreal series and the New Jersey series as well. There is Moore. He's in the box, but he's only in there for 2. Fedorov's in there for 4.
The puck went all the way in the offensive zone, and there was no whistle being called. I thought the initial one was going to be on Fedorov, but I guess Andy Van Hellemond, they both go off, and then Fedorov gets that extra 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Well, I agree with you, Darren. Sergei Fedorov is lucky to be in this game, because that is a vicious, vicious hit. And it may have been...
he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. He came across hard, and...
We don't need that in this game. We just don't.
There's a lot of things, and a lot of roughing things go on, though, and it's hard to keep it inside, Thomas. But in this kind of situation for Fedorov, they need him on the ice. They don't need him in the penalty box.
Yeah. You hear it all the time, keeping our focus. Loose puck in front. They score! With 12.8 seconds left in the period, and another octopus has hit the ice.
Well, if the Red Wings needed a spark, this was clearly it. 12 seconds left on a giveaway. Draper, an innocent-looking backhand. That puck was on end, and somehow it eluded Urbe up through the armpit on the right-hand side through the blocker in the body. Just an innocent-looking tap-in. Great perseverance, though, by Sean Burr and by Draper. Draper's a speedy player, anticipated the play, and again the second one crawls onto Joe Louis Arena ice. And man, they're painting it red here. All the crowd.
Look at the size of that squid.
It's got some braids on it.
Get that fish a haircut. Well, actually, 3 different octopi came on the ice. And did that change the mood of this crowd or what? An innocent-looking play, a giveaway in the San Jose zone, and a goal.
And Fedorov in the penalty box.
Yeah, that's right.
Short-handed goals, specialty teams are so important. Chris Draper gets his second goal of postseason play.
That'll stun the San Jose Sharks. Let's see if they lose a little bit of composure. I think it's a good thing for the Sharks that the end of the period is coming up in 2 seconds. And Sean Burr just buries one of the Sharks. That's Krupa. And Chris Draper getting his temper going. But that was Sean Burr who buried Krupa. And there is Chris Draper, who's got to be a happy young man. Chris, that's it. Put the foul card back in. You're on TV. The period has ended. The referee Andy Van Helleman trying to make sure that cooler heads prevail here. Sean Burr got cranked up and gave a perfectly hard and legal hit at the end of the period.
Well, Sean Burr's line has been doing that the entire period, really lifting them up. As you take a look at one of the keys to the San Jose Sharks, Johan Garpenlov, a former Detroit Red Wing.
Garpenlov and Makarov for San Jose. It was 2-0 until lightning struck in the last 13 seconds. Chris Draper has made this a 2-1 game after one. Let's go to Steve Levy and very shots on goal 9-5 in favor of the Detroit Red Wings. So Fedorov remains in the penalty box. At the end of the first period, Ellick of San Jose and Coffey of Detroit. That was the scrum at the end. They got each 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Right.
So they'll cool their skates for the first 2 minutes here of the period. It is a 5-on-3 situation, a 4-on-3 situation right now for the San Jose Sharks.
Actually 5-on-4 with what has just transpired. Confusing because it all happened in the end, but the Sharks will go on their first power play of the game.
2-1 San Jose. The Sharks on the road. First playoff appearance ever, trying to do what many people felt was impossible. Derail the Detroit Red Wings, the highest scoring team in the National Hockey League. Makarov has it taken away, but gets it back to Norton. Norton over to Sanders Ozolin. Makarov, Marianov. Ozolin, 54 seconds to go. Ozolin right into the chest protector. Lies good. Oh, bodies are colliding. It's Steve Trason knocking down Johan Garpenlov.
Norton's shot from the left point was clearly too high, and in those types of situations, as a defenseman, it's probably best to keep it down so a goaltender can't control the rebound. Osgood, though, got a good grip on the rebound. Now, Norton has the shot. Now, he does have to try to get it up above Draper, who's killing the penalty and trying to shut down that shot. Nice protection by the Red Wings. Chason hammering down Garpenlov. But again, the puck got up a little bit too high on Norton. Probably not the choice that he would prefer. And Osgood does a nice job of corralling it. You see Chason and Garpenlov taking care of business right in front of the net.
Face off in the Red Wing zone to the right of Chris Osgood. 50 seconds now to go in the extra 2-minute minor to Sergei Fedorov. Sharks trying to take advantage of Fedorov's lack of judgment late in the first period. And Detroit ices it down to Artur Zerbe. 30 seconds left to go on the Shark power play. This is Igor Larionov. Ulf Dahlin sticks it to the corner, but Konstantinov is there. He avoids the hit from Makarov. Now Makarov behind the net. Yzerman is there to take it away and clear the zone.
Good play by Steve Yzerman, killing off the penalty, but Makarov again trying to go right up the middle. Boy, he's a magician with the puck, and he does the obvious, and so often it works. On that case, Yzerman read it perfectly.
Jamie Baker carries in. Fedorov will be out in 2 seconds, and Chason has it. The penalty is over. McCarty was serving the extra 2 minutes, so he'll leave the box. Irbe still has it. I thought he was going to hang on for a face-off, but no. Here's puck at center, Chris Draper. Dumps into the zone. McCarty gives the right shoulder to Krupa. Boy, Krupa's a big guy, but he's drawn a lot of hits in this hockey game so far. Puck at center. Sean Burr with it for Detroit. Frank Johnson. He'll skate in, but he's 2-on-3. Johnson pulls up, waits for help, takes the shot himself, and Irving has a quick rebound, but Ciccarelli goes wide. Here's Kozlov. Kozlov in the slot. He won't shoot. Kozlov behind the net, the wraparound, and Irving saw it coming. Konstantinov with a drive, and it's blocked by the defense. Another shot. Irving the save. It's loose. They score!
He's been good in the opening portions of this contest. He's had a couple of scoring chances. Again, with the traffic in front, Bob Airy had just made a terrific block for the Sharks. But the rebound comes through on Irbe after the initial shave. Johnson does some dirty work, and it's Kozlov that sneaks around on the backhand and taps it on into the empty net.
Well, they're blaring over the PA system the rhythm and blues song, I Feel Good. And the Red Wings have got to feel great after they dug themselves a 2-goal hole. They're now back in it. And yes, another squid hit the ice, or octopus, if you will.
Again, though, the speed of the Detroit Red Wings, their transition game and speed, that's been their asset all year long. Kozlov with the initial play on the backhand, nullified by Irbe. Constantino with the first shot, but you know, he stuck with the rebound after Airy had already blocked it, and then Kozlov taps her home on the backhand.
And Greg Johnson and Dino Cicerelli doing yeoman work in front, bothering Artur Zirbe. The official on that is Kozlov and Constantinov at 2:36.
Yeah, you're right, though. Cicerelli should get a whole lot of credit again in the face of Irbe. It's the intention of many, many teams in the playoffs. We know goaltenders can get hot, and you try to get in front of them as often as possible.
So San Jose and Detroit tied at 2. Who's going to grab momentum next? Stay with us. Game 7 on ESPN. All the marbles on the table now. Yzerman in the corner. Primo's in front, but Yzerman is bumped off. And for San Jose, it's Pat Balloon. Balloon has it poke checked away by Chason. And Steve Yzerman throwing a tough body check. Here's Shepard to Primo. Zirbe to save. One thing I've noticed about Artur Zirbe, he does give up rebounds, doesn't he?
Well, he tries to get him in a position to stay up and square with the shooter, and yeah, quite frankly, they bounce off those big pillars of his. And on that situation again, shot by Primo. Irbe with the save, but a big rebound.
Well, Keith Primo got a good shot away on Irbe, and he had to be tough.
Well, after Yzerman made a hit on Whitney, then the Shepard all the way over to Primo. Primo with a quick shot, trying to go short side on the stick side. Nobody to clear that rebound. Jamie Baker ended up firing down the other end of the ice. Primo, as you had said, look at that eye. The players are just so beat up in playoffs, and there's so many hidden injuries. High-low shots, low on Irbe, they're going 10 times, high twice, and they've scored on both times on the high side. I mean, Irbe covers the low part so well. The contention is that a guy's little, you should go high. I don't believe in that whatsoever. But I believe with Irbe, the way he goes down, that he's empty from that area.
Well, the Red Wings buzzing around again in the Shark zone, but Karpinov carries out. He's double-teamed and fights through it. Johan Karpinov trying to center. He's tied up. And finally, Chason sweeps it aside to center. Karpinov did a nice job there trying to create a scoring play. I think this is where the young Sharks are going to have a challenge here, as we're going to have a penalty called by Andy Van Hellemond on Detroit. Jeff Norton sits in the penalty box for San Jose, an elbowing penalty at 3:48, and now the Sharks are tempting fate. Their poise is going to be tested here.
Sure will, and the power play of Detroit on home ice, 25%, third best this year in postseason play.
The San Jose Sharks, beginning the year, not anybody gave them a chance to make the playoffs. When they made the playoffs, nobody gave them a chance to give Detroit a series. Well, here we are in the 7th game, and we're tied at 2, but the Red Wings are coming on. You can feel it. Yzerman keeps it in the corner. Detroit power play has Cicerelli out there with Lidstrom, Coffey, Yzerman, and Primo. They'll make that Fedorov. Fedorov is out there. Fedorov.
That was the stick of Duchesne on Fedorov.
He fell over the stick of Duchesne, but Van Hellemond says that's not a penalty. I'm not going to call it.
Duchesne came up with a high stick, and it looked like it went off the shoulder of Fedorov and just clipped him. And that's when Fedorov went down.
Here's Yzerman on left wing. Comes around for Primo. Cicerelli back to the point, but Paul Coffey wasn't in the right place. Here's Fedorov getting attention on the Red Wing bench.
He's taken a beating so far in this playoff. Left in the last game, but returned in the third period with a bad leg.
Slava Kozlov dumps in. 50 seconds left on the Norton penalty of San Jose. Larionov does a good job clearing the zone. Larionov takes it away from Primo.
Is he good or what?
Yeah, or
Larionov is so intelligent with the puck, and he's able to poke check and still control it. Man, is he having a great year in the great playoffs for San Jose.
You're not one of the dominant players in the Central Red Army team without being talented, Aaron. just think of that Makarov and Larionov and those guys.
Oh, terrific. Now, some of the pluggers, so to speak, for the San Jose Sharks would definitely be Duchesne, Gaetan Duchesne, and his stick right now as the Red Wings are on the power play. There it is, the blade of his stick right up high around the right ear, right eye section of Fedorov, and he fell down. And you know, you didn't see it, but Duchesne right away sort of had his arms up like, hey, I didn't mean to do that.
Yep.
And Andy Van Hellemond, I'm not sure if he even saw what happened. Fedorov just sort of fell over, sort of timbered over, and fell to the ice, and Fedorov then went right to the bench. But it looks like he's okay. Near the end of the regular season, he also took a clip up high, and he was very fortunate that didn't get him right on the eyeball.
I don't think Andy Van Hellemond saw that. It's impossible for any referee to see everything that goes on out there, and that happens so fast, I just don't think he saw it. 25 seconds to go in the Norton penalty. 2-2 hockey game. Red Wings scored in the last 13 seconds of the first period and early here in the second to tie it up. Primo at center. Boy, he's imposing, all 6'5" of him, and offside is Ray Shepherd. With 10 seconds to go in the Detroit power play. Coming up tomorrow, exclusive live coverage of Major League Baseball on ESPN. Sunday Night Baseball featuring Mo Vaughn of the Boston Red Sox, Tim Salmon of the California Angels. That's exclusive national coverage tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Red Sox and Angels. And the feeling on the Shark bench, you have to wonder what's going through a team that hasn't had a lot of playoff, in fact, no playoff experience until this year.
You see the number 34 on the side. That's in honor of Mike Coleman, who passed away, and he was a member of the farm club of the San Jose Sharks, the Kansas City Blades. And in honor of him, they put that number 34 on the left side of their helmet.
Mike Coleman tragically killed in an automobile accident not too long ago. Well, we have a lot of viewers in Kansas City watching tonight, rooting for the San Jose Sharks. A lot of these players on the team, including Arthur Zerbe, one-time members of the Kansas City Blades.
Kevin Constantine, the head coach that year.
A couple of years, he won an IHL title there in Kansas City. Red Wings were closing in for a shot in the slot, but it eluded them, and the penalty is over, and teams are back at even strength. Garpenloff at center for San Jose. Burr for Detroit. Draper poke checked it away from Larionov. Here comes Lidstrom in front. The short side save and the glove save now by Irbe, who holds on for the faceoff. 13:28 to go in the second.
Nicholas Lidstrom moving in on the offensive zone. Lidstrom's known as that type of player, and he's been paired with Paul Coffey, and that's been a great influence for number 5 of the Red Wings. Sees a little bit of room, goes to the backhand, figures, hey, what the heck? Why don't I fire one on net and see if something doesn't happen or does happen? And Irbe is able to not only lose his balance, but grab it with his mitt. But Nicholas Lidstrom, as I said before, a couple of years ago, he had the best plus-minus in the National Hockey League. He was a runner-up to Pavel Bure for Rookie of the Year. San Jose just one shot on goal in this second period. They're sort of on their heels, but I think you have to attribute a lot of that to the momentum and the emotion of the very fast and talented Detroit Red Wings.
Face off now to San Jose zone to the left of Arthur Zerbe. Fedorov will take it against Todd Ellick. And it ends up in the corner for San Jose Peterson. But not out. Cartner with a drive, and Irbe sticks save to the corner. Terry Cartner let her rip. Peterson again for San Jose. He's bumped off, and Ellick tries to clear, can't do it. Cicerelli in the corner. Dino Cicerelli never stops working when he's out there. Fedorov to the backhand, and Irbe will cover up in a slide. 13:02 to go in the second. Game 7, tied at 2.
Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. Sergei Fedorov, so talented, but he likes to go to the backhand. Behind the net, you think he's going this way? Not a chance. He's coming back out that way, right to his strong side, and that is the backhand. So Fedorov follows through right now, and he continues on, and Irbe gets a stick on it. But Fedorov, he just loves going to that backhand.
And the faceoff will occur to the right of Arthur Zerbe as we resume action. Sheldon Kennedy. Jamie Baker. Kennedy wins it back to Coffey at the point. His shot surprised Irbe, but it was well wide. Irbe looked after the puck was past him. The right stick side. Barry, the Shark captain, tries to wrap around him. Oh my goodness, Whitney had a hole net to shoot at, and he shot it over the top. Penalty call by Van Hellemond. Ray Whitney will be seeing that chance in his dreams tonight. Paul Coffey has been whistled for the penalty. The Sharks will be going on the power play. Detroit fortunate they're not down again by a goal.
It's going to be a holding penalty on Paul Coffey. Good pressure by San Jose. And an opportunity by Whitney on a sort of a loose puck that just sort of jumped his way. And I believe that puck was on end after Bob Airy on another nice little wraparound play. And as the play follows through, Coffey's going to grab a hold of him. But Whitney misses on that shot. The puck was rolling, and it got up a little too high on him. And there you see Coffey and Airy. They never stopped on one another. Coffey really just plain and simple never let go. So good call by Van Hellemond, and San Jose will now go on their second power play of the game.
Coffey sits for two. You have Larionov, Garpenlaw, Ozelinch, Norton, and Makarov, the power play unit for San Jose. The faceoff is taken by Konstantinov. He dove, tried to draw a penalty, but Van Hellemond is not fooled. Makarov to Larionov in front, and Garpenlaw had an open net but couldn't get a stick on it. Ozelinch, cross-ice pass. What a story. The San Jose Sharks tied at 2 in the 7th game of Detroit, and on the power play. Loose puck to the point to Norton. Waits and dumps it to Makarov. Norton keeps it in. Ozelinch. Ozelinch, like Arthur Zerbe, a native of Latvia. This is Makarov. 1:15 to go on the Coffey penalty for Detroit. Here's Makarov closing in, winding up and hitting the leg of Konstantinov. Ozelinch with a soft shot in on the goaltender. Osgood. Ozelinch again. Lets Berg go down, and he'll pass to the other side. Shot taken by Norton. Hits traffic in front. Behind the net, Garpenlaw back to the point to Norton. 50 seconds. Well, the Sharks have had possession the entire power play in the Detroit zone. This is impressive. Sean Burr tries to clear it, and Draper will.
More of an emotional kill for Detroit and the fans here at Joe Louis. San Jose, though, with excellent puck movement. That just simply world-class athletes moving the puck around, and they did have a couple of chances for good, solid chances.
Well, the fans react to the Red Wings finally clearing the zone after spending more than a minute hemmed up in their own end, shorthanded. Now the Sharks come back. Ulf Dahlen is in deep. Primo tries to handle him, can't do it. Dahlen in front. Osgood has to cover up with 8 seconds left on the Coffey penalty. Ulf Dahlen showing his strength that time with Primo on his back. He's still got a shot on goal.
Ulf Dahlen is so strong with his feet. He gets his feet working that sort of 10-2 position if you're looking at a clock. And he's able to use that strength, that mobility. See Dahlen taking it to the backhand, moving the feet, and never stopping. And then he goes all the way through and fakes the backhand, goes to the forehand. And Osgood is able to get that stick like so many goaltenders are doing now. The paddle of their stick along the ice, nullifying Ulf Dahlen.
Wow, another 7th game going on tonight is Chris Osgood. Skates nervously in front of his net. Vancouver, after one, has taken a 2-1 lead at Calgary. So the visitors playing well in the 7th game tonight.
7th game is supposed to be home ice advantage, but I just can't. More pressure on the home team.
Shot from the point. Taken there by Mike Rathje. Rathje again, right? This is Peterson. I'm sorry, Peterson. I stand corrected. The penalty is now over. Coffey is out. So Peterson had a couple of chances. Didn't connect. Dahlen in the corner. Well, he lives along the boards in the corner here, right there. He's a real pest right there. They're trying to play against him. Krupa pitch again now for San Jose. There's Peterson doing the same on the right wing. Eisman finally intercepts. Dumps to center. And Coffey is taken down at center ice. Fans want a penalty, and they're going to get one this time. I think that was a good penalty because Paul Coffey was a stride away from going in on a break.
Paul Coffey was flying. He gets contact with that puck. He's flying from the blue line in. And Peterson's going to go off, and it's going to be a hold, but it looked like it was just sort of a contact trip. But nonetheless, Peterson can't get back in time, but that's normal. I mean, that's how fast Paul Coffey is. That's how great of a skater, a natural skater, one of the most gifted skaters the National Hockey League has ever seen. See, little bouncing puck. Looked like a Balata golf ball right there. And Peterson can't handle it on the one-timer. And stick right in between them. That's clearly a trip, not a hold.
What kind of golf ball?
It's a Balata. It's a wound golf ball that bounces just a little bit more than the other ones. And I thought maybe it's close to golf season. But, you know, now we've got a situation where the Detroit Red Wings, they bounced back from a 1-0 deficit, a 2-0 deficit. Now they're back in this game. It's a 2-all game. They've just killed off a penalty to the San Jose Sharks. Now they've got a chance to really put a dent in the armor of San Jose and get these painted red fans really jumping here. Joe Louis.
So the Red Wings go on another power play. Kozlov behind the net. In the corner to the point to Lidstrom. He and Coffey are manning the points. You got Cicerelli and Fedorov and Kozlov out from the front line. Here's Coffey in deep. Herbe hugs the post. Fedorov! And he hits Jason Moore with a shot. Still loose in front of Herbe, and a whistle as they cover it up with 9:39 to go in the period. 1:38 in the Peterson penalty.
Wow, Cronin doing a nice job of trying to handle Cicerelli. Jamie Baker also back there killing off the penalty for San Jose. They need that kind of lift and the commitment from everybody with all the talent in the world in Detroit. Nice job as the shot never really got through. You see Duchesne collapsing. You see right there one of the defensemen, Jason Moore, going down blocking his shot. Again, Cronin blocking his shot for San Jose. Every one of these guys are making a pure commitment to making sure that puck doesn't get on net. But Dino Cicerelli again and again and again, he gets hammered in front of the net.
And watch out for Cicerelli if you're shorthanded trying to kill off a penalty. He'll plant himself in front of that goal, and he'll take a licking, and he'll beat you more often than not. Kozlov in the corner. Now Cicerelli has it. Cicerelli has 5 goals in this series. Kozlov, the shot is wide by Coffey. Coffey again, still plenty of time on the Detroit power play. Minute 20. Fedorov, Kozlov. Centering pass stick to side. Ozolinsh intercepted. Coffey. Fedorov, the one-timer. And Herbe can't control the rebound, but San Jose clear.
That was a terrific save, though. Herbe with his blocker side. Solid save for Arthur.
Save that San Jose needed at that point in time. 50 seconds to go. The penalty to Peterson of San Jose. Coffey dumps in. Detroit trying to get some fresh bodies up front, but Coffey does a good job keeping the puck in the zone. Yzerman trying to center to Shepard. Loose puck. Coffey gets there first. Shepard behind the net. Intercepted by the Sharks, and carrying out is Rob Goodrow. On for a rare shifter. He'll just dump it back to Osgood. 18 seconds to go on the Detroit power play. Primo on left wing. Elects to go behind the net. Yzerman double teamed in the corner. Chase on from the point. Well, why? The penalty is over, and the Sharks have killed off a big penalty.
Huge kill for San Jose. Very good. Solid commitment by everyone. Keeping the Red Wings on the outside, trying to clog up the middle, and Herbe only had to come up with one big save in that whole sequence.
Leave Chase on now as the teams are back 5 aside. Yzerman overskates a pass. Thornton behind his own net. And Darren McCarty took a tumble behind the San Jose net. Konstantinov in his own corner. Konstantinov. Sean Burr dumps in the corner. McCarty gives it to Burr. Todd Ellick has him lined up. McCarty's in all by himself. Ozolinsh for San Jose. Bob Harry. Stanley Cup winner in Pittsburgh in his 11th year in the NHL. Markow with it for Detroit. This is Draper. Scored that big goal late in the first period. McCarty's onside. Takes the shot. And a bit of a stick save by Herbe. And doing and eyeing here at Joe Louis Arena. Win or lose, I'm very impressed there by the Sharks in their first playoff series ever. First 7th game, obviously. really handling the pressure by and large pretty well.
They're very composed. I mean, let's face it, Detroit is still only at 17 shots in this game.
Draper in front to Prover, and Irby has to cover up. They're roaring in Detroit. We're tied at 2.
While the Red Wings were on their second power play, the key is Dino Ciccarelli in front of the goal, trying to tangle up any kind of momentum and any kind of shot, trying to get in the way of Arthur Zerbe. Ciccarelli stays outside the perimeter. This is the only good scoring chance they had on this, and there was Ciccarelli. If there were to be a rebound, he was there for it, but Irbe made a great blocker save on the one-timer, and that was the only good scoring chance by Detroit.
Face-on control by Jeff Norton of the Sharks. Nice one-handed pass to Lariano. Trying to send Garpenlov in alone. Red Wings bottle that one up. Ozolinsh at center. Garpenlov dumps in. We reach the 6-minute mark of the second period. 6 minutes to go. Game 7. NHL Western Conference quarterfinals. San Jose and the Detroit Red Wings. Series tied at 3. The 7th and decisive game tied at 2. Garpenlov doing nice work in the Detroit zone now. Makarov comes in to join. And it's taken back by Steve Yzerman. The captain of the Red Wings dumps into the left corner. Primo bats the one-time rebound. Yzerman goes for it after the save by Irbe. Loose to the side of Irbe. Primo and Yzerman, and now Shepard. And it's Makarov. And Garpenlov just walks at center.
They've been matching up that line. Yzerman's line up against Makarov and Larionov's line.
Ray Shepard at center. Dumps in. Red Wings will chase, but not come up with it. Bob Airy. Kozlov and Jason Moore almost got in real behind the play. Here's Fedorov. Tries to split the defense. Knocked off his feet by Sean Cronin, and Fedorov is down again. He's had a rough night. He was hurt, remember, in Game 6 here a couple of nights ago. Late in the game.
He returned in that game, but Cronin came across, and I believe that was a good hit by Cronin. Fedorov with a lot of speed. He's down. He is hurting.
Nicholas Lidstrom at center. Into the corner. Vlastimil Krupa. Comes down into the Detroit end. At the center, McCarty and O'Donnell by for it. It's like two boxers in a clinch. You're not going to get anywhere with those two. Peterson, back to Krupa. 3:50 to go in the second period. Play slowing down a bit. The drama continues to build. Here's Todd Ellick. To Dolan. He faked the shot and that was knocked off balance. Sean Bird, fan favorite here in the Motor City. Dumps in for Draper. Comes back to center. Bird tries to send McCarty in, but it doesn't work out. Off the stick of Alex into the corner. Konstantinov wheels around his own net. Konstantinov dumps in, but nobody there to chase for Detroit.
I get the feeling San Jose really, Tom, at this point is kind of rope-a-doping themselves right now. They're in a good position. They're late in the second, and it's still a 2-2 game.
They're right where they want to be this late in the game. If you'd have told Kevin Constantine you'll be tied with about a period and 2 minutes to go, he'd take it. Darn right he would. Sanders Ozolinsh, surrounded by Red Wings, still gets by them into the corner. Who's going to make the great play? Who's going to make the careless play that may decide the series? That's why you should keep it where it is on ESPN tonight. Here's Yzerman into the San Jose zone. Harry in the corner. Pass goes to the crease. Primo is down, and he's getting up slowly, if at all. No penalty call by Van Helleman. Primo just now getting up. Nicholas Lidstrom couldn't control the pass. Keeps it in the zone, though. Yzerman swats at it. Yzerman off his stick. There's a lot of stick work going on down there.
Good poke check by Irbe, though, on the Yzerman wraparound.
Yzerman back the other way. Tied up by Cronin, who takes him down, and Ozelich loses control of it. Shepard almost gave the Wings the lead.
What a sequence. Yzerman's line's been on the ice for almost probably 2.5 minutes. And every time they tried to get out, the puck kept going to them.
Icing on San Jose. Back to Detroit in a moment.
Gourmet cooking.
Welcome.
Put the wrestling back on. Gourmet cooking. Let's watch both. Noodle.
Miller presents Gourmet Wrestling.
They are cooking now, Bob. Here's the flip. The dip. And the whip.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything.
Take a look at him. He's done.
What a pen. What a beer.
Great taste, less filling.
While we have a moment, let's see who the league leaders are. The Miller Chain draft league leaders. Playoff goal scoring, Kurt Muller. His Canadiens eliminated last night. He's tied for the lead in the goal scoring. There's Lidstrom. Skates in and shoots and hits Hervey. Back to Lidstrom. Hervey saw that one, made a big save.
Good news for Detroit. Fedorov's back on the ice after taking a knee from Cronin.
Fedorov in the corner. Cicerelli just pokes it back to Kozlov. Teams are 5 aside. The Red Wings putting on pressure now. Hervey. Scott never got through to him. It's Cicerelli. Cicerelli still digging. He wanted a penalty, not going to get it.
Good effort by Krupa, the young 18-year-old defenseman for San Jose. Last-ditch poke check.
Oh, Coffey upended Hervey from behind, upending his stick as Hervey was trying to play the puck. Under a minute to go in the second period. Kozlov, rink wide. McCarty can't control. McCarty in front. Garfinov covers up, and Kozlov loses his helmet. A lot of people losing their heads out there.
I guess to take them suckers on your head.
Got to keep your head about you. Under 30 seconds to go in the period. Morton clears for San Jose.
Even though there's been a lot of pressure in San Jose's zone, they still have not been able to generate any good scoring chances. We credit the San Jose Sharks defense.
Chase on. 10 seconds to go in the period. Norton takes it away. 3 seconds in the period, and this will do it. Only 1 goal in the period. There's the guy who got it. Vyacheslav Kozlov has tied this game up at 2, but Artur Hervey has stood tall in the San Jose net. Shots on goal in the game. 19 for Detroit. 12 for San Jose. Game 7, we're tied at 2. At least 1 more period to go. At least. Steve Levy, Barry Melrose, take it.
Polish, you've got to put the puck on net. And Hervey as well. Hervey's got a little bit more momentum, but neither one of these goaltenders has had a chance to dominate what has transpired so far in this game. So obviously a pivotal save is going to turn around this contest in a 2-2 game. Scotty Bowman, meanwhile, he's been through a ton of these sort of things. But, you know, I'm not sure, though, if you get used to this type of situation.
Tightening his tie a little bit. I'm sure his insides are churning, even though he's been through this a million times. Here we go. Game 7, period 3. Tie score. With Darren Pang, I'm Tom Mees. Stanley Cup action can't get any better than this. Right here on ESPN. Who will move on? Who will go home? The Red Wings attacking. Sergei Fedorov round the net, and it goes to the crease with Cicerelli on the doorstep. Kozlov still without his helmet. I think he's got a Velcro, John. It keeps coming off. He just likes to show everybody those curly locks.
They're really after Jason Moore. Kozlov and Moore had a little one-on-one. No penalties called.
Norton clears the zone for San Jose. The San Jose Sharks, biggest one-season improvement in National Hockey League history. One of the better teams in the entire league the second half of the season. And everybody said, well, that's nice, but they'll be out in 4 or 5 against Detroit. Yes, again. What a year it's been for Kevin Constantine. Here comes Garfinov, who opened the scoring. Makarov. Konstantinov is there for Detroit. Here's Chason. Pulls up and centers to Primo. And Hervey is there. Yzerman leaves it for Chason, but Chason didn't read the play properly. Back the other way come the Sharks. A 3-on-2, a 4-on-2. Jeff Norton is in, he shoots, and Oscar got a piece of it. Ray Shepard clears the zone.
Turnover in one end results in another breakout situation by San Jose, and are they good at it? But Osgood was able to get a right pad on that puck before it deflected through his legs.
Here's Sean Byrne. It's a 2-on-2. Byrne Draper into the Shark zone. Byrne to the backhand, but he gives it away. As back-checking Duchesne was right there in the slot. Alt Dahlin calls this one into the stands. Face-off will be in the San Jose zone.
Well, Jeff Norton just had a glorious opportunity. Him and Ozolinsh just paired together, and they always fire up in the play, jumping in the offense whenever they get an opportunity. And this is a result of a situation where it was a turnover in their own zone. In San Jose's zone, a turnover leads to a 3-on-2 sort of break, and Norton moves it again. And it looked like Cartner might have got his stick on that shot and never did get through to Osgood. Again, you see the stick of Cartner, and yes, he deflects it wide. So Norton's shot goes wide. But again, Osgood not feeling that puck. San Jose trying to get it on net on a pretty good offensive play by Norton.
Interception by Sheldon Kennedy. Doing some nice work. Ties did Ray Johnson. Off over to the corner for Detroit. We'll see Todd Ellick when he knew Probert had the puck. He backed away. Wanted no part. Here's Probert again at center. Dahlin gives him a bump from behind. Here's Kennedy. Centering. Probert had his stick tied up by Peterson. At center ice for the San Jose Sharks is Todd Ellick. Dumps in the corner. Sheldon Kennedy is there for Detroit. Kennedy with a burst of speed. Intercepted at center by Coffey, who was up in. Detroit will go for line change. The tension continues to get greater and greater with every second. Cicerelli almost sent Fedorov in on a break. High score, Game 7, Stanley Cup playoff quarterfinal round. Nicholas Lidstrom. Kozlov to center. Sharks dump it out again, and Coffey for Detroit.
Again, good coverage by San Jose, blocking up the blue line, getting 3 or 4 men at least back there, and really forcing the Detroit Red Wings to circle the wagons. Either that or dumping it back out.
Kozlov 2-on-1 with Cicerelli, and over Cicerelli's stick. Dino is ready to pull the trigger, but it hopped over the blade. Karpinov offside is Lariano. 16-19 in regulation time.
Steve Levy back in our National Hockey Night studios. Time to clear up some accounting problems. We showed you Ronnie Stern goal. That made it 2-2. A minute 4 later, Fleury from the bad angle. 3-2 Calgary. They're on the power play.
Well, Neil Fleury has 2 of those 3 goals for the Flames.
I'm happy to say Barry Melrose loves Fleury, and Fleury's a little guy.
Well, now Barry has to figure out to get him with the LA Kings, you know. Right?
I was thinking I'd make a comeback for Barry.
Oh. And play back onto the San Jose zone. At center with it, Lariano, taken away by Burr. Makarov goes back in his own zone. 35 years young, Sergei Makarov. Taken away by McCarty. Ozolinsh and McCarty battling, or that Portland McCarty battling for possession. Makarov comes away with it. McCarty. Cross ice to Burr for the drive. Glove save by the cool Arthur Zerbe. Picked that one out of the air like a cherry off a tree.
Piece of cake on that one. Nothing in front for Urbe, but Dino Cicerelli, as he moves down on his bench, he had a glorious chance just moments ago on the reverse angle. Kozlov on his off wing, looking to feed and feather this nice little pass, but it takes one too many hops. Right over the tape of Cicerelli. One bounce right before it. Right over the tape. Otherwise, Cicerelli had an open net.
Red Wings win the faceoff, but it's taken by San Jose's Kruplo. Not to center. Todd Ellick races Markel for it. Now that bad back slams into the sideboard. Now giving it a go tonight. Spends 3 or 4 days a week in traction at a local hospital. Just so he's able to have his back frozen up in time to play. Primo. Over the stick of Shepard. All Coffey with it. Back to Primo. Todd Ellick mucking and grinding in the corner. Primo comes away with it. Eiserman the drive. His traffic goes over the net. Eiserman missed the first 4 games of the series with an knee injury suffered in the final regular season game in Dallas. 14:40 to go, tied at 2.
Eiserman, of course, one of the key players for Detroit, but so far, in the course of the game, he's only had 1 shot on goal. That came in the first period.
Jason Moore taken back by Coffey. Fedorov takes a big hit from Moore. Those two just don't like each other very much. Either that or they have a way of bumping into each other.
There they go again.
Yep, Fedorov and the odd elbow to the ribs of Moore. Here comes Kozlov. He's dangerous. The center pass and a save. Oh, a shot by Lindstrom. Arthur Zerbe ended up on his back, but the puck stayed out of the net. Here's Whitney back the other way, taken away. Ciccarelli to the trailing Coffey. Look at him go. The shot by Fedorov. A save, Zerbe.
On the edge in goaltending right now. Arthur Zerbe has made some great saves, and Osgood hasn't faced a sniff in this third period.
Good point, Darren. You have to wonder, don't you? And it's not his fault. I mean,
no, first one for him will be very important, though. I'm sure he's anxious to touch that biscuit.
Detroit's doing a good job keeping the shots away from him. Ozelin. Oh, dangerous slot pass to Makarov. Larion off at center. He's double teamed and taken away by Draper. High bouncing puck in the slot. Morton comes away with it for San Jose. This is Makarov. Larion. Nice poke check by Darren McCarty from his belly. And McCarty with it at center. Larianov always has that stick on the ice. Broke up the play. Oliver Konstantinov. Double teamed and shoots it right into the Shark bench. Look out. Those aren't the cheap seats, but they can be dangerous. Whistle stops play with 12:43 to go in the third. Still tied at 2.
One of the guys on San Jose's bench, though, looked like he might have taken that errant puck. He's bending over. I can't tell exactly who it is. But just before that, Kozlov again utilizing his speed. One-timer to Lindstrom. And a real good save by Zerbe. And who's he had to contend with? Got to contend with Dino Ciccarelli going in front of him, looking for a screen and a deflection. Thrown it, then hammered Ciccarelli. Good end-to-end rush by Kozlov.
11 Canadians, 5 Americans, 3 Russians, 2 Latvians, 2 Swedes, and 2 members of the Czech Republic. And 25 bodies all pulling in the same direction. That's the San Jose Sharks. And Kevin Constantine, their coach, deserves untold credit. 35-year-old runs the show and has everybody pulling on the same page. That's tough enough to do when they all speak the same language, Darren. Peterson has it taken away. Detroit has Eiserman in front. Rinaldo can't get to it. Here's Shepard. And Zerbe covers up on the soft shot by Shepard with Primo on the doorstep.
Again, Zerbe smothering up the rebound. Not a very hard shot, but nonetheless, it got through. Any puck that gets through traffic can be a dangerous situation. Zerbe comes up with a save, his 23rd shot of the evening. 21 of 23. Meanwhile, over on the bench, that was Makarov that took an errant puck. And he just had a towel by his mouth. And boy, that would be a huge loss for the San Jose Sharks. Makarov, obviously an integral part of their... Well, it's a complicated offense when he's on the ice because of the way that they can maneuver with the puck in the offensive zone. I mean, for Detroit, that's the line that causes havoc, no question about it. So for Primo and the rest of the Detroit Red Wings, that is the one line.
Our Stanley Cup summary. Midway through the third period of Game 7, Calgary-Vancouver, the series tied at 3. But in the Game 7, last score we have 3-2 in favor of Calgary. Toronto moves on. They beat the Blackhawks 4-2. And it seems like a year ago that the Dallas Stars swept the St. Louis Blues aside, doesn't it? It was actually 6 days ago.
Well, their golf game has improved since that time, I'm sure. Yeah. A lot of time off, and that can help and that can hurt. You can lose an awful lot of momentum as well, but if there's any minor injuries, you have a chance to heal them up. Shots on goal, 4-1 Detroit in this third period.
And the key there, only one shot on goal on Chris Osgood of Detroit. And that, too, could be a double-edged sword, as we've already said. All right, Fedorov taking the face-off for Detroit. Still struggling for it, and sweeping it into the corner was Jamie Baker.
Baker's done a nice job on faceoff for San Jose.
Captain Bob Barry at center. Barry cruises into the zone. Loses control of it. He tried to go to his backhand. And back come Detroit. Cicerelli. Fedorov on right wing. Fedorov around the defense, and Irving hugs the post. Drives off in the corner. He sends it to the crease. Coffey doesn't pinch it. And Whitney for San Jose just dumps into the corner for a line change.
San Jose are reluctant as a team to shoot the puck anywhere in the quality area. They're just afraid to fire it for some reason.
Well, they're playing their style here in the third period. Counterattack. Counterattack. Take care of business in your own end and wait for a mistake. Here's a mistake the other way. Sean Burr intercepting a clearing attempt, but San Jose covers up.
Yeah, how many times have we seen Detroit bust around with speed and try a wraparound and a pass in front of the net? And in every situation, San Jose has got a player or three there.
Makarov at center. Ups into the corner for Konstantinov. Jason over his stick. No icing will be called here in Detroit. So Irving goes ahead and plays it. Morton, he bumped hits with Sean Burr. Here comes Sandus Oselin. Back to the left wing. Gate hand to Shane, and a glove save by Ryan Osgood.
Good save by Osgood. Long shot. Looked like that puck was rolling on Duchesne. Their first shot on goal, really. The first one deflected off the stick.
Locked in the Detroit zone. 10:15 to go in regulation time. We're tied at 2. Game 7. Western Conference quarterfinal. Detroit and San Jose. Should the Sharks find some way to win this, I'd like to be a tavern keeper in San Jose, California tonight. Here's Con Ellis. 1-on-3, and he's deep in the zone. Now he's buried by Markow. Jason Moore backhands it in right at Hal's head. Jason Moore keeps it in. But it's intercepted by Yzerman. Oh, nice pass by Yzerman, but Primo couldn't control it. Moore into the corner. On bounce in the slot, but Red Wings are there. Litch comes up to the corner. That's the kind of bounce the goaltender can have nightmares about. Cronin takes care of Cicerelli. And Whitney sweeps it out of the zone. Here's Fedorov looking to center instead of shoot. And Sean Cronin bodies him in the corner. It's going to take a real big penalty for Van Helmen to call it now.
You're right.
That's just the way it is, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. This is the time to hold and hook and grab a guy down.
Icing on the San Jose Sharks. We're still...
I'm bored. Let's count the palm trees again. Why are you looking at me like that, Iggy? You okay? Cut it out. You're weirding me, man. Stop looking at me like that, would ya? You're creeping me out. Cut that out, man.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Iggy, you're gonna twist my head off. Iggy.
Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. The pressure on goaltending. Artur Zerbe's faced 24 shots. He's been having sort of an onslaught so far in the third period. Chris Osgood, though, has not faced any rubber, and that is the key for San Jose to get the puck on Osgood.
The tension mounts, and Irving didn't know where it was. And he thought he sat on it. It ended up behind the net. It's still in play. That has a crowd with the hearts in their throat. In the corner. 8:30 to go in regulation time. Detroit, I'm very wary of guys like Larionov and Makarov, such skilled passers and stick handlers there.
In this situation, as individuals for Detroit, you have to make sure you eliminate your man. They are very tricky.
Herbe and Burr meet in the corner. Net is open. Burr controls it, but Herbe's back. Artur Zerbe showing a little gusto there. What Kevin Constantine, a former goaltender, was thinking about that move.
Say, get in your net, goalie. Get in your net.
Ozelin. Intercepted by Yzerman.
Look at that stick work that goes on, huh?
Yzerman looking to center. Now behind the net. Centers out, but doesn't hit Chason. Duchesne did a great job breaking that pass up. Now Osgood has to come out to clear the zone. Couple of Red Wings get tied up in the blue line. Here comes Dolan. Oh, Dolan shoots! And Osgood to save! The guy they call the Wizard of Oz struck again for Detroit.
Pulled one out of his hat here. Dolan's got him clean to right. And with the big left paw, Osgood is able to lean back there. Dolan makes a nice play. And you see Terry Carpenter as a defenseman eliminates the pass across. Oh, but what a great save by Osgood. Wow, for a guy that hasn't faced any rubber the majority of this game. Man, did he just rob old Dolan.
And my partner, Mr. Pang, a member in good standing of the Goaltenders Union, loves it when the little guys with the big sticks make the big save.
I think as a forward, you'd have to say, get it up forward, get the puck up in the air, but a great save by Osgood.
These two netminders have done a good job tonight. Osgood hasn't been tested in quite a while. He passed that test with flying colors.
That's what you can purely call a save of the game, especially seeing that San Jose has not had many chances.
Here come the Sharks again. Swimming into the zone. Elliott. Jason Moore is intercepted by Primo. Under 7 minutes to go in regulation time. Game 7 time. Osgood backhands but not out. The Sharks in the puck. They score! Number 13 is not unlucky for the San Jose Sharks. Jamie Baker, who scored the first goal of the series, scores the biggest goal in the Sharks' history.
Well, one of the assets of Osgood isn't playing the puck after a brilliant save on Dolan. He gave the puck away, he went out to the corner and played it, went to his backhand, and look at the anticipation of Baker. Sensing there's an empty net, he just let it rip right to the far side and make no mistake about it. And I'm not sure if Bob Airey tipped it in front, but Airey's in the crease right here. Bob Airey's right skate is in the crease before the puck enters the crease area, and I know he had nothing to do with the play.
Here comes Fedorov right back, but Baker breaks him up. They did give the goal to Jamie Baker, his second of the series, his first since game 1 here in Detroit.
Saw right after that play, but Paul Coffey went over to Osgood and said, shake it off, pal, we need you.
Oh, it's up against the wall time for the #1 seed in the Western Conference, the Detroit Red Wings. You think of the Sharks scoring, you don't think of Jamie Baker making too many big goals. He's not up there with Makarov and Karpilov and company. Boy, did he come up that time, taking advantage of the Osgood missed clear. Fedorov an easy one in on Herbe, who hangs on. 5:50 to go. San Jose leading by 1. Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. Arturs Herbe knows his team is only 5:50 away from a stunner in the first round. After 2 periods in Calgary, the Flames trying to stave off elimination. They haven't won a playoff series since they won the Stanley Cup back in '89. Trying to get off that schneid. Our Pringles storyline in this game, Sergei Makarov a goal and an assist. Chris Draper, a big goal for the Detroit Red Wings. Jamie Baker, though, the biggest one of the series just a moment ago. The San Jose Sharks are less than 6 minutes away from advancing to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, they've been a patient hockey club here so far. They've been patient, and Detroit has tried to come at them in every direction, but San Jose's clogged up the middle and hasn't given them very many opportunities for quality chances.
5.5 to go in regulation time. Here's Cicerelli in right wing. Fedorov breaks the net. He shoots. Herbe to save, and Todd Elliott was there to clear away the rebound. Had somebody been in the slot for Detroit, the game would be tied. Arturs Herbe kept it a 1-goal lead with that save. Cicerelli can't hit Kozlov. Duchesne in the corner. Without a stick, rushes back to pick it up. Here's Kozlov breaking out of his own zone. Paul Coffey. Bob Berry gets there for San Jose.
Well, Coffey dumped it in, but they were going for a line change, so no force checking, no pressure.
Here's Eisenman, but he's offside, says the linesman. Ray Scapinello and Scotty Bowman. That was made before the year started. He criticized the quality of his goaltender. Made the trade late in the season for Essendon. But it turned out all along that Osgood would turn out to be #1 in this series. But it's ironic, isn't it, that an Osgood turnover handling the puck right now has Detroit in trouble.
Sergei Fedorov's one of the many weapons they have. Cicerelli on the pass to Fedorov, little backhander trying to go to the far side. But again, nobody in front of the net except for Todd Allen. Again, the discipline of the San Jose Sharks taking care of their own zone. There's 4:37 left in this game. From Detroit's perspective, you can't just clearly go gamble, gamble, gamble. You don't want this to be a 4-2 hockey game. They've got enough weapons. They can still be patient, and every one of these lines, starting with Eisenman and Fedorov, can go to the net.
Here's Steve Chason. Shepard, Ford, 28 and counting. On the right point. Like a bumper on a pinball machine. That defense of San Jose just knocks it out. Here's Garkolov taking it away from Konstantinov, and Garkolov pays for it. Sharks setting up now the Detroit zone. Red Wing fans getting impatient. Garkolov goes to the bench. He's hurting. Got hit by Aaron Punk. Chase on. 3:50 to go.
The system of San Jose is perfect for this situation. They play that neutral zone trap, sort of a 1-2-2, and that's why the Detroit Red Wings right now, they can't get a pass across because the San Jose Sharks are clogging up that middle.
O'Donnell in the corner. Chris Draper trying to get it from him, and he does. Nice job of digging by Draper. Eisenman, back past McCoffey. Coffey looking to center, behind the net. Back to Lidstrom, he'll let her in. Hervey the save, and the rebound is off to his left, and Duchesne clears the zone. Oh boy,
Hervey again. So great goaltending can win it for you. Another great save by Arthur.
Olamarchi in San Jose. Burr behind the net. Centers in front. Nobody home, but the Sharks Whitney. Under 3 minutes to go. A 2-on-2. Whitney with Aries. Whitney shoots off the poster, off the stick of Osgood. One of the two. A year ago tonight, Detroit was eliminated in this building, a home 7th game in overtime, by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they talked about that after ending the series at 3. They didn't want to lose it in 7 again. That was their motivation to play well tonight. Well, they haven't played terribly, but a key mistake has the Detroit Red Wings on the fence of elimination again. Tom Mees and Darren Pang back in Detroit. There's the situation. And yes, time is running out on Sergei Fedorov. Time is running out on the other big guns of the Detroit Red Wings. Would Markal be able to quarterback a play that would result in a tying goal? Could Dino Cicerelli get in front of the net and tip one in? That's what the fans in this building are hoping for. They're not booing their team. They're getting into it, trying to spur them on. I think right now the Red Wings would take overtime and love it. Jason can't keep it in the zone.
How many times have the Detroit Red Wings make blind passes right to the middle? No one's home except for the Sharks.
Eisenman tied up behind his own end momentarily. Here's Coffey on left wing. He'll dump it in. Kozlov. Four-man scrum. It comes to Elliott. And the Wings starting to take chances now. Under 2 minutes to play. We'll have to watch the Detroit net and see when Osgood comes out. This is Sandis Ozolek. And every time San Jose clears the zone, it buys another 10 or 15 seconds. Under a minute and a half to go. Draper looks to the bench. He hasn't left yet. Or rather, Osgood looks to the bench. He hasn't left yet. He's coming out a little bit. Here's Cicerelli. Hervey, a stick save. Osgood out a little bit more. Coffey Did he keep it in the zone? No. It came out over the blue line. Face-off just outside the San Jose zone. And look at the Sharks. Oh, they can smell it, just like sharks in the ocean.
They've been calm, cool, and collected this entire game. Now, I'm wondering right now, which coach, Scotty Bowman, right now desperately needs a timeout with the face-off just outside the blue line. His decision now would be, when do I pull the goaltender? And if I know Scotty's an experienced guy, this would be a perfect time for a timeout right now so we can discuss that with his goaltender.
Well, there you see it, head-to-head. When things were tight, the Sharks came out on top. But here you've got Detroit, Darren. They're the highest scoring team of the NHL. There you have San Jose. They made the biggest one-year improvement in the NHL. This team won 11 games a year ago. This team was down as low as you could go. Only Ottawa was perceived as the worst franchise in the NHL. Here they are, a minute and 9 seconds away from knocking off these guys, the #1 seed in the Western Conference, who were thought to be a legitimate challenger to the Rangers for the Stanley Cup. Go figure.
Start right away with the coaching change in San Jose. Kevin Constantine has established a system. He had many of these players in Kansas City. He added Wayne Thomas to his lineup in terms of coaching, and they believe in the system that they are playing. We're seeing it in the NHL. Systems are winning out. Red Wing fans right now are not.
And goaltenders are having an unbelievable playoff season. We've seen it around the league. Last minute of play in the third period, and maybe the season for Detroit. And offside again as Yzerman dumps it in with 56.6 seconds to go.
Jamie Baker right now is the hero for the San Jose Sharks. Many in San Jose say that through the course of the year he has been one heck of a trooper, grinding it out. Jamie Baker last year played for the Ottawa Senators. After scoring 19 goals last year in Ottawa, he opts as a free agent to San Jose, and he's found himself a home.
Played his college hockey at St. Lawrence in upstate New York. He scored the first goal of the series. He may have scored the last. Osgood's out. Detroit has 6 attackers on, trying desperately to tie. Ciccarelli around the boards. Coffey has to keep it in. Had no shot for the point. Ciccarelli looking. Primo's in front. Loose puck. Hervé finding it and covering it up with 31.8 seconds to go. Well, a little bit over a week ago, saw the St. Louis Blues in a game against Dallas tied up in under 30 seconds. You see Scotty Bowman signaling for his timeout.
Again, Detroit keeping the puck in deep, trying to play it in front to Big Keith Primo. Shepard's also in front, trying to bang away at a loose puck. But again, 4 San Jose Sharks, 5 Red Wings in that one area, and Hervé is able to hang on to it from behind the net again. See little Tom Peterson trying to take out Keith Primo. Does an excellent job of eliminating the man, and Primo's unable to get a shot back on the backhand. And then Hervé is able to cover it up, but for Scotty Bowman and the Red Wings, the key faceoff man down the stretch in this game has been the captain. Steve Yzerman has won 11 of his last 15 faceoffs in this game, and obviously with 31.8 left on the clock, it is absolutely essential that the Red Wings win the faceoff. If the Red Wings are not to win the faceoff and San Jose clears the zone, you can all but write this one off. That will clearly kill 15 to 17 seconds off the clock.
Come on, boys, come on!
Arthur Hervé, he has faced 29 Detroit Red Wings shots. And he has really shown his mettle because he gave up most of those 7 goals on Thursday night. There is no goaltender in the Detroit net, is there? All right. The fans in Detroit, I got to give them the nod. 20,000 on their feet, not booing, supporting their Red Wings.
Yzerman looks like he's going to go up against Larionov. Larionov's only won 3 of 10. Yzerman 11 of 15.
Yzerman wins the draw. Can Coffey keep it in? Yes, it's onside. The shot, a save in front. There's a Ciccarelli with a loose puck, but he couldn't jam it in the net. And the Sharks clear the zone. 20 seconds to go. And this could just about do it. All the way down the ice. And now some boos and some debris cascade from the stands. San Jose, California, do you believe it? stunned. The crowd happy. The Sharks happy. That's an understatement. The agony of a favorite not performing once again. And the money is on the table, Darren.
Fourth year they've lost in the 7th game. In the first round, they've lost 3 of now the last 4. Hats off to the San Jose Sharks for believing in what they're all about, for playing the kind of system all the way through. They never once couldn't believe that they could win this.
San Jose will advance. Detroit will go home, and you have to wonder if some of the big wheels on this Red Wing machine will be put on a lift and rotated out of town. These fans expected a Stanley Cup this year. I can assure you the fans in San Jose, and they're wonderful and they're loyal, they never expected this.
No, they haven't. And Arthur Zerbe, a guy that deserves an awful lot of congratulations, was terrific. But that really wasn't the difference. That wasn't the story with San Jose. The story was the belief in what they were all about. And as a team, as a unit, they believed they could beat the Detroit Red Wings.
And there's the hero, Jamie Baker, shaking hands with one of the Detroit assistant coaches, Barry Smith. A very bitter night here in Detroit, but they are partying in San Jose, California. And Darren, it looks like you and I eventually are going to find our way to San Jose.
Here they've got a beautiful arena.
There's the goaltender Osgood, whose mishandling of the puck led to the goal by Jamie Baker. And there are the San Jose Sharks. Their miracle has come true. For Chris Osgood, disappointment personified.